The silent woo. I didn't want to like make him poop his pants or anything like that.
I was ready.
Last time I was right in his ear.
I was ready.
Anyways, what's up, guys? I'm here with Paul Revelia, owner. What do you call yourself? A founder, CEO, owner of Pro Physique.
A promoter. I promote a show. Author. I write articles, but mostly a coach.
You're a father. You're a lover.
I'm a dad.
You're a friend. You're a dad.
Jack of all trades.
Anyways, Paul Revelia from Pro Physique here. He is a core elite athlete, a great asset to the core team, and we're happy to have you here in HQ.
It's exciting.
Just gave him the grand tour.
Exciting.
He came to Virginia. He didn't bring his gun or his pickup truck, but maybe next time. All right, so today we are going to talk about supplements. Go figure.
Shocker.
Yeah, but more specifically, we're going to talk about the supplements that Paul incorporates into his clients' prep plans. I'm going to chime in here as well.
He's a fat fly. He's going for the burn.
Bobby, you put a lot of flies in here, okay, Bobby? Oh, Bobby hates me. Yeah, so we're going to talk about how to use the core supplements specifically.
Got him. There he is.
Booyah! Wait. Ding!
If only you had chopsticks. Poor fly.
Oh, it's just chilling on the table.
He's still twitching.
I'm going to get another letter from Peter. The other day I zapped a spider. I don't know if you saw my... Yeah, exactly. Where were we? We're talking about supplements.
Contest prep.
Contest prep supplements. And so Paul provides information to his clients and recommendations on what supplements to use. So you've kind of broken this up here. So how have you separated this table?
Yeah, contest prep is a long process, and for those of us that do it the right way, we let it cuss on the portion. We're not going to do a 12-week prep to lose 30 pounds. So I was in a good position, metabolically speaking, and we're going to prep for the length of time that's going to allow us to not start with our backs against the wall. So the beginning of prep is going to feel just like a normal day where you're just reducing some calories, creating a deficit. So these are supplements that I feel are kind of more geared towards the beginning of prep. Things that will fit better in, and these are some stuff that I really like towards the end of prep. With the exception of the hormone products that you and I talked about, we use at the beginning, we take a break.
I'm going to add that one over there.
And then we finish strong with the last 8 weeks. So these are some of the higher stim products, the lower calorie products, and these are some of like the powders that you might use for your post-workout, whereas deep into prep, we kind of want to eat more voluminous food.
For sure.
But there's still good options if you have to travel, because obviously you don't live in a vacuum. So, we want to go through each one, kind of talk about why it makes sense.
Let's start with the basics, right?
Yeah.
These two. I mean, I would think, for me, my basics are a little bit beyond just, eventually we will do a core multi.
Yeah.
But I always recommend taking a multivitamin just in case you're not, just basically to cover all your bases, right?
Yeah.
Just in case you might be missing out on something. I always take a vitamin D and a multivitamin on top of these two, but I'll let you kind of talk about these two.
The beginning of prep, you don't want to get sick during prep,
right?
Because that can really set you back. So I'm excited about the multi. And what's nice about these is, less than a year ago, we had to go outside of core to get these. But it was
Flex has been around for a while. The Omega is the brand new one, right?
The Flex pills have been around.
Yes, correct. But there's a powdered version of the Flex, which is our joint health.
So that's really exciting because, the one thing I love about Doug's products is that he puts together the best possible version of that product, because guess who's taking it? That guy. So he's not putting anything to his body that he second guesses. So I don't have to worry about what I'm getting. It's not a secondhand product.
And I want to talk a little bit about it. So this is the joint health product, right? 8 tablets a day, and the reason why I have to take 8 tablets is because everything in here is dosed properly. Yeah. Not just the preventative glucosamine, chondroitin, and MSM, but also the things that you're going to actually feel a difference with, like the natural anti-inflammatories, the turmeric, the boswellia, the cissus. All of those things are dosed properly, so there's a lot of tabs. But the Omega is something that I think a lot of people kind of take for granted. They can walk into a Walmart or a Costco, spend $6.99 and buy a big tub of Omegas.
Yeah, but the ratios will be off.
There's a lot of things wrong with that. Not only the ratios, the EPA and DHA are low, a lot of times when you get those fish burps, it's oxidized, right? So these are, which is basically, you're just wasting your money. You might as well not even spend the $6.99. These are produced under a nitrogen barrier. So there's no oxygen in the manufacturing process for this. The other thing is all of those $6.99 ones, we'll call them, are ethyl ester forms. This is a triglyceride form, much more bioavailable, much more usable by your body. And then these are really high ratios of EPA and DHA. So you don't have to take a ton of these.
Right.
You could take 2 of these a day and you're good.
And that's one of the great things about that is you don't have to get as many calories from your product like this. So you can actually get more volume in your food because it's such a high quality
so there's 1,200 milligrams, over 1,200 milligrams actually, they tested out actually higher than what's on the label here, over 1,200 milligrams of EPA and DHA per the 2 caps.
Yeah.
You know, whereas you might have to take in another 4 grams of fat, you know, in another brand that isn't as high.
And then some people actually complain, like, do I have to take the fish oils because, you know, they actually want to
eat their fat.
Those are valuable fats at the end of prep
exactly.
when you get low. So
yeah,
it's great for that. And then we got to start with commodities.
Yeah.
That, I mean, pretty much everyone knows now year-round creatine monohydrate is something that we should be using. The reason that we have that in the before early in prep is because sometimes you don't want to have a stimulant overload beginning of the prep. So this needs to be 5 grams a day. For Doug, maybe a little more. Look at those biceps, he might need a little more, but you know, typically I suggest, you know, 3 to 5 for girls and, you know, 5 grams for guys.
So what are your thoughts on, and I certainly have a strong feeling about this, you probably get this question a lot, people in prep are afraid that creatine monohydrate is going to make them bloated.
No. Now, there are a small percentage of the population that might have an issue digesting creatine. Most of those people, if they take it consistently, it will go away.
Yeah.
If it continues, then we just need to pull it out a few days before the show because we don't want to feel bloated. But the fact is, creatine monohydrate stores fluid intramuscularly.
Exactly.
Not underneath your skin.
I mean, I'm taking this, I don't come off it at all. I take it the day of the show. I'm still taking 5 to 10 grams a day. So that's a big misconception that a lot of people, you know, have. They'll drop their creatine monohydrate when it's one of the most studied, one of the best supplements.
It's just a fear. It's just a big fear that most people have. And then also, like, if we're talking about price per value, this container is going to last
$15 for
that's
80 days.
Yeah. So it's great that the core came out with that because that was something else that, you know, that when you added that, I was like, man, like, less places to go shopping.
Yeah. We're trying to be a one-stop shop.
So I want to stick with the non-stimulant theme.
Core Pump.
So Core Pump, fantastic pump product. No stimulants. So this is something you can take late at night if you're going to get a session in, get all your requirements so that you get a good workout and not feel like you got to be up, you know, till 2 in the morning. And it's the same thing that you can, like you were saying earlier, you can even add a product like Zap, which I consider a latent prep product because it's
so high stim.
It's high stim, but it's also high nootropic. Like I feel focused on this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you just want to change it up, you know, in prep and not take the same pre-workout every day, but when you want the big boss.
So this is Fury. So the Fury is going to be your all-inclusive pre-workout, whereas this doesn't have creatine or anything, you know, like a beta-alanine or something, which is in, you know, our ABC obviously, but this is going to have not only your pump aspect, so there is pump agents in here, the citrulline, agmatine, muscle power from the betaine and the creatine. This also has your stimulants and your nootropics. So some people just go with this. There's 5 grams of creatine clinically dosed in this, so you wouldn't necessarily need the creatine if you're taking this. If you're taking Zap, which doesn't have creatine, you know, you would want to use the commodity form of the creatine. But it's nice to have both of these. Like if you want to get crazy, stack them together.
I honestly do that and ABC all the time.
Yep.
That's a very common.
So the ABC, we might as well just go right into it. This stack, I mean, I do 1, 1, and 1 for a pre-workout stack.
Yeah.
You know, BCAAs and beta-alanine, you know, pump and stim aspect, extra pump aspect. Take it about a half an hour on the way to the gym. You really can't beat it.
No, I love it. I've adapted to the beta-alanine tingles when I first started taking ABC. So you're going to get focus, you're going to get a great pump, and you're going to get through your workout with a lot of fatigue resistance and just feel like, you know, you're zooming.
Yeah. And so this for me is, you know, and for me and for core nutritionals is like our most important product. We sell more of this than any other product, ABC. It's a branched chain amino acid product, and in the Ask the Boss recently, there was a question about some recent studies comparing EAAs and BCAAs, but I actually thought Lane did a good video on it explaining the difference in how different studies are set up. Some of those studies were straw men that they were setting up. And
the one study was in an older population.
Exactly.
So their muscle protein synthesis changes anyway.
I don't like to say that like ABC is a muscle builder. It's not necessarily a full-on anabolic product, but what I would say is the reason why I use it is more of a recovery aid. And there's no doubting or no denying the clinical studies on the effects of leucine and protein synthesis.
Yeah, and again, when you're in a caloric deficit and everything matters, having branched chain amino acids in between meals, you will not catch me not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, you could not show me a study at this point, where that is something that I'll be doing, because none of these studies are done on people that get as gnarly and lean as we want.
Yeah.
So you want to hang on to all the muscle you can, and that's what this is for.
And in competition where the game of a percent or two matters,
right.
I'm certainly going to put it in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, one of my favorites.
Staples.
All right, so before we go to the protein, I want to just hit on this one real quick.
Yep.
So I'd be curious, so this is a powdered fat burner core burn ultra. So how early, I get this question a lot, how early in prep do you institute a fat burner?
So
you have this over on this side of the table, which is kind of like...
Well, that's other more powerful ones over here. So when I start to use core burn is when I start to notice hunger starts to take away my focus to do my job, or when energy gets low. So I love, like once I start to get those hunger pains, the feeling of appetite suppression, and to the point where I've taken this and like missed my meal time, which you don't usually ever do when you're.
That's
tracking.
the one thing that really separates core burn. Not the one thing, but one of the things that really separates core burn is it definitely has a strong appetite suppressing effect on it.
Yeah.
So, is there ever a time when it's too early to take core burn?
I don't think so. It just depends on your needs. It depends how lean you are when you start prep, when hunger kicks in, how much you're using these other products. Like, ABCD might be something that you want to use for focus in the morning instead of burn. You don't want to let your caffeine and stimulant intake get too high too early on in prep.
Yeah.
So
talking about caffeine, is there a limit that you have that you try to put clients on? I mean, what's your number, and does that number change through time? I know towards the end of prep, for me, it's like there really isn't a number. It's just like survival.
I'd like to say 2,000 milligrams. Like at the end of prep. Now you're talking.
That's insane.
That's like glute lines. Like where like every hour you're just feeling like a zombie.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people actually get that lean, but 1,000 milligrams is pretty much a rule. And then like you said, no holds barred.
Yeah. For the last week or two.
Yeah, it's just no holds barred.
But I mean, even 1,000 milligrams. I mean, so I know myself in the non-contest prep. I try to do a pre-workout, and and the occasional monster here and there, but I really try to avoid it because, man, people are just addicted to caffeine. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you got to come out of prep and go back to normal life. But I would get into like a couple coffees a day because they're so low cal. Then you're having your pre-workout, your fat burner. So you just got to kind of pay attention. Yeah.
So core burn, all inclusive. Fat burner has different mechanisms or different ingredients that help mobilize fat, basically burn fat through different mechanisms. Great product. There's 3 flavors for Burn Ultra.
And just like you like to say that you don't consider certain products muscle builders, I don't consider this a fat burner.
No, that's why I try to say kind of like...
It allows you to burn more fat through helping you with appetite, helping you with energy, and getting through your day better.
Yeah, I mean...
And your NEAT might be even higher. You're non-exercising.
Some of these do have an effect on, baseline metabolic rate, and like acetyl-L-carnitine helps with the fatty acid, breaking it down. So, I mean, like, there are some real, true... To say fat burners,
fat mobilization.
Exactly. So, definitely a very helpful product during prep, though. Now we got 3 different proteins over on this side: PWO, post-workout; MRP, meal replacement; and Pro. So that's a low-carb blend. I know for me, I keep PWO in as long as I can. I don't like to have to think about mixing a ton of stuff post-workout. It's all in one. It's got your carbs, your whey isolate, Velocitol, which enhances the protein synthesis. It's got extra leucine in there. Tastes great. I love to drink it when post-workout. But as you said, when you get deeper into prep, you know, you probably want to eat your food. I know I switched to just a whey isolate later in prep, and I eat Cheerios just because I
Well, and a lot of people will have the branch chains after they work out, so they get the leucine. So if you don't want to go through the hassle of mixing the perfect meal and making sure you get all your branch chains, this will handle your post-workout one and done.
Yeah.
Then you can do what you got to do until the next meal.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, it's all about food volume. At a certain point in prep, you're going to want to actually chew something.
Yeah, I mean, and the meal replacement is the same thing. And so, like, this is a 1-to-1 ratio of protein and carbs. Carbs coming from good, slow digesting oat and barley flour, so it keeps you full. I keep this in prep pretty long. I use this really as a pre-workout.
Yeah, but you mix it and make like a sludge out of it, or use it in
as opposed to
recipes.
like drinking.
Yeah. So then you do get the sensation.
Yeah. So like using this as like a pre-workout, it's really like the perfect pre-workout or breakfast if I'm really pushed and on the go and I can't do eggs. But like I know later in prep it's all about the volume. It's the fluffiest eggs you can get. And, everything's
on its own plate.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Core Pro, for me, this is my nighttime. I'm gonna do this before bed. I mix it with some natural peanut butter, help slow down the absorption a little bit more. And again, I'm generally eating this. Especially even in the grow season and my prep. My last meal of the day is pretty much the same. I take this mixed with peanut butter and blueberries and stick it in the freezer.
Well, the great thing about all these is you can throw them in the core funnel and then bring them with you like through an airport if you have a busy day, so that you're not going off your macros or you're not tempted to eat something that's off your plan. It might not be your favorite meal in the world, but sometimes convenience is more important than volume. So these are all great for that as well.
But this is really my favorite meal in the world. This blueberry is amazing. All right, those are our proteins.
All right, so
let's go into the isolate real quick because we just talked about some protein.
So the reason we have the isolate on this side, this is something that I use because I'm a little bit more lactose sensitive, and I really love the macros on this. This is something that's going to really help get a high quality protein in, digest really nicely, and not take up a lot of calories. There's not a lot of fats and carbs.
Yeah, there's less than 1 gram of carbs and less than 1 gram of fat in a serving of this for every 23, 24 grams of protein.
Yeah.
You really can't get much better than that. And like you said, it really doesn't cause any bloating issues for people that are lactose intolerant. And this is actually our chocolate peppermint bar. So if
I haven't tried that one yet.
It's delicious. It's like peppermint bark. It's like a chocolate mint. It's a really good chocolate mint.
And my favorite thing about your protein powders is how easily they mix.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a perfect situation. You can just throw some water in there. You don't even have to blender ball, mix it up.
For an isolate, which a lot of times just leave me wanting more, like in terms of flavor, our isolate is flavored extremely well. Like we spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah, all your flavors are fantastic.
All right, where are we going next?
Let's see here. Let's go with ABCD because this is kind of a newer product in your line in the last year, and it's something that I started incorporating. So this is basically your ABC product with a focus on drive.
Yeah, so what we do here is we get rid of the citrulline because we're not really designing this necessarily to be right around a workout.
Right.
And we get rid of the glutamine, but we did add some other things. We added some nootropics. We added acetyl L-carnitine because a lot of people who are dieting or in prep, a lot of people do this before cardio in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like having that little bit of a boost, but also the muscle sparing aspect of the amino acids. This product, we're finding that people are using it really in a couple different ways. It's right when they wake up in the morning to kind of get them going as a coffee.
Yeah.
It's like their afternoon coffee when they need, it's 3 o'clock and they want to, have something.
Yeah.
And some people who want a low stim pre-workout will use this. So like you're training late at night, you might want to do a scoop of core pump. You might need a little extra energy, but you don't want to go crazy with the Fury or the Zap. Some people can do a scoop or two of this.
It's definitely a good low dose stimulant and lets you focus.
Only 100 milligrams per 5 grams of BCAAs, so per scoop.
Right.
So I actually like to do 2 scoops of this as a pre-workout. Really good focus from it. There are some nootropic aspects to it. So really cool product.
All right.
Z's. Yeah. So the reason why I put Z's over on that side is because you find that later on in prep, when your carbs are low, especially sleep is just.
It's actually something. There's been a few case studies of bodybuilders doing prep, and it seems to be a common theme. When body fat gets very low, sleep time is just shorter. This is a survival thing. You don't need to be sleeping 8 hours if you're looking for food. So one thing about Z's is, I like to get a fat meal before I go to bed, and some Z's will allow me to sleep really deep make sure that I'm getting full recovery.
Yeah.
My wife actually likes to use this. She has trouble sleeping, so every now and then when she's had a couple bad nights of sleep, she'll take this.
Yeah. So I will say we are, right now we have 2 different versions of this. We have a US version, virgin. We have a US version. We have a US version, also a virgin, and that has melatonin and L-Dopa. And we have an Australian version which doesn't use those 2 because they're not allowed in Australia, but we use Phenibut instead. So there's an Australian version. We are actually reformulating these to just make one that is compliant for all of them. I have the beta samples out there. It actually hits even a little bit harder than this, and it tastes better. So big improvement coming from the Core Z's, just a little heads up on that.
All right, so this is the original burn. So it's tricky because it's over here, but why is it over here? Because I feel like this is a good addition when you've got the pills. So you can start adding a pill or 2 pills or 3 pills to any time of the day. And just ensuring that if you need a little bit extra to get through your day, a little bit more focus, this is going to help you out. I
find that the Burn Ultra hits a little bit quicker, but I actually think if you're taking a full serving of this is a little stronger.
Right.
So let's keep rolling.
Yeah, now this is an interesting one because this is something I just got in the mail a couple weeks ago, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to use this for my pre-workout today. I just had this and ABC, and I had to slow down my workout. I was so focused and intense that I was like, wow, this is really a good product. So that's why I have this thing for latent prep, because even myself that takes a pre-workout on a regular basis, I feel like this is going to be something that's going to allow me to be productive, either in the gym or even out of the gym.
Especially when you're starting to get pretty caffeine desensitized, you're still going to get zapped from this. I mean, you really will. I mean, it's the high dose of the CDP choline with all the other nootropics. And then the teacrine, a large dose of teacrine in there. I mean, this thing lights me up every time, and I love it. Now, the one thing about this is it doesn't have that pump aspect. So you could use, some people are using this as a half a scoop for like that pick-me-up, kind of like the ABCD, because it's so strong in the focus. It's really hard to describe a focus feeling. Like, I never really knew what people meant when they said focused. After taking this, I know what they mean. Like, I just want to
get stuff's going on.
Exactly. So it's really intense focus, really cool
Well,
product.
and one thing you got to remember, most of us are not able to bodybuild in a vacuum. Like, deep into prep, we don't get to quit our jobs, stop taking care of our kids, take care of our responsibilities. So you need things to help you get through work. Sit down and focus, and that's exactly what this will help you do.
Big Poppa Stack. Bring it in here.
This is the good stuff right here. So
let's put these 2 together, because people might not even know about that one underneath.
All right. So we'll just go down the line.
We're
gonna end it back.
So this is the core. This is the core Big Poppa Stack. We actually we did this special on our website once where it was all of this, and it was crazy. We sold.
I think it was when we were in Vegas you talked about it.
Well, we're going to do it again. We're going to bring it back. So a little teaser before the end of the year, we're going to bring back the Big Poppa Stack. So real quickly, Core Test. This is a powder test booster. Has multiple anti-estrogens in it. Super popular in Australia. It's a powder form. We did it in a powder form so they could get a test booster because they really wanted alpha. But I wanted to create another test booster in addition to alpha, which is another test booster, that worked through slightly different mechanisms. So that the ingredients don't overlap, right? There's a little bit of overlap, but not much. This, I would say, is a stronger anti-estrogen across anything else. This product gets you very hard because of the anti-estrogens in there.
This is almost a requirement for my female competitors deep into prep. There have been some, Lauren Dannemiller, she told me she was taking the stack a year ago, earlier in the year, and I'm like, she just started dropping weight at a time when she was kind of stalled.
Well, she was plateaued, right?
She was plateaued, added this in, and immediately just had a harder look, had an easier time dropping weight. And after doing some research on things like ashwagandha and the stuff that's in this, I got so excited because, obviously you guys do a great job formulating and.
So the big thing, in the Core Test, we also have the KSM 66 ashwagandha. Really cool ingredient. It's in the Core Test because of its 675 milligrams, has really good test boosting effects to it. It's also in here because there's been studies shown the Core Hard is mainly an anti-cortisol product, is the way that we like to describe it. It helps kind of not remove, but reduce or modulate cortisol, because you can't reduce
the research on the cortisol. They did a study in rats, and they gave it to some and not to the others. And the rats that they gave it to were able to swim like twice as long as the rats that didn't get it. So there's a lot of
The
benefit.
KSM66 is amazing. So this, not 27% reduction in cortisol in humans, and there was just a study that I just got an email 2 days ago showing that this now has effects on thyroid hormone, like regulating thyroid hormone. So people that have a suppressed thyroid, this helps modulate that back to kind of normal level. So this is an amazing product. The 5-AT is another anti-cortisol type agent. It was taken out of the Core Hard because the 5-AT is not WADA compliant. It used to be inside the Core Hard. Now we took it out for the people that want to stay WADA compliant. They can remove the 5-AT. Hard Extreme, people don't even really know about.
That's new to me.
You know, if you have any questions about Hard Extreme or want to know where to get it, shoot me an email. Hard Extreme is an Australian exclusive, but we do sell it in our nutrition corner. It's basically the exact same formula in a powdered form as the Hard, except for we add 2 other mild anti-estrogens in there, a white button mushroom extract and the pomegranate extract. So it has a little bit more of a hit to it, but you got to take powder 3 times a day. That's the only downside. So this stack, for me, all my clients are taking it from 20 weeks out to 12 weeks out, take a 4-week break so they don't get kind of used to everything, and then take it the last 8 weeks. The most crucial is the last 8 weeks.
Yeah.
This is like a must.
This is my requirements for the last 8 weeks. So depending on what you need, this is absolutely a requirement, and then this is obviously.
And I should say, when I take this, I actually just restarted this stack back up. When I take this in the growth season, I notice strength gains in like every week. I'm pretty honed in on like when I'm getting stronger or when I'm hitting plateaus. Like I know every time I go on this, I notice it. Deeper sleep, you know.
It was almost. I actually texted Doug one day because when I started taking the stack right after Vegas, I came home and I could not stop eating. I felt like I was a bottomless pit, which usually when I get my calories pretty high in the improvement season, that's
he really said I was having a lot of trouble peeing. I'm just kidding.
It burns. No, that's not the case. So yeah, I'm gonna run this probably 8-week cycles. And take 4 weeks off. All the way through, just to get the maximum benefit. And again, it's all herbal. This is all stuff that's working in conjunction with your body. It's not muscle builders. It's allowing your body to build more muscle through the proper channels.
The key here is these are natural products that work to elevate your endogenous levels. It's not like you're providing an exogenous hormone or like a pro-hormone or a steroid to your body. This is helping your own body produce more.
We're just maximizing the potential that your body has.
Well said. And that's it.
I'm still waiting for my Doug bicep, but that's all right.
And that's it. Anyways, if you have any more questions, you can shoot me an email at Doug@Core Nutritionals or
Paul@ProPhysique.com.
Can we put a logo here? Ding. All right. Thanks, guys. Until next time. Keep crushing it.
See you.